I always hear people say that when it comes to gemstones, you can just tell what their identity is just by looking at it. If you think that that's true, this video is definitely for you. Hi, I'm Nicole and I go by Jewelry Nerd. If this is the first time that you're coming across me, I'm a GIA graduate gemologist, I'm a jewelry appraiser, and I have been in the antique and estate jewelry business for over 20 years. If there's one thing that I've learned about jewelry, it's that it will always surprise you. This video is going to demonstrate that really well. Come along with me and I'll show you how. I got this ring in a collection of pieces to appraise, and as soon as I picked it up, I thought to myself, wow, this has to be an aquamarine. It just has to be. Let me tell you the thing about gems. They will surprise you every time, and it wasn't until I tested this that I figured out what it actually was. Let me show you. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you already know that we play really fun games in my stories, like what I call real or fake. I'll post something and I'll just be like, hey, what do you think this is? You think it's real? You think it's fake? Vote below and tell me, and it's always surprising. So a couple of weeks ago, I actually posted this ring in my stories, and I gave people a list of choices to choose from and just said, hey, tell me what you think this is. So just like I pulled it out of the collection and I thought, wow, this has got to be an aquamarine, I gave everybody 4 choices, and that was one of them. So the first choice was, do you think that this ring is an aquamarine? Do you think it's a blue topaz? Do you think it's a synthetic spinel? Or do you think it's glass? Here's what everyone said. Now, as you can see, hands down, everybody thought that this was an aquamarine. And I mean, I did too as soon as I looked at it, because it looks like an aquamarine. But the very first thing that they teach you in gem school as soon as you sit down is, you can't identify a gemstone just by looking at it. You have to test it. It's like going to a doctor and saying, hey, my arm hurts, what's the matter with it? And your doctor's gonna say, I don't know what's wrong with it, we've gotta test it. So the same thing is true for gemstones. And boy, let me tell you, when I tested this gemstone, I was really surprised. Turns out it's a blue topaz. Who would have ever thought? But that's exactly why you have to test gemstones. So let's move along to, now that we know what it is, what's it worth? Because that's everybody's next question, right? How much is this worth? Well, there's a huge difference between an aquamarine and a blue topaz. As it turns out, if this were an aquamarine, it would be worth $6,310. Yeah, over $6,000. But because it's a lowly blue topaz, it's only worth $840. Now, put this in perspective. What if you bought this ring and you didn't know what it was and you wanted to resell it? Would you say it was an aquamarine and risk getting sued? Or would you sell it as a blue topaz because you don't want to risk being sued, but you're going to lose over $5,000 worth of profit? Tough choices. And that's why gemology exists, and that's why there's an entire profession of people called gemologists. Now, if you aren't following me on Instagram, now might be a good time to do so you can catch all of the really fun things that I do in my stories, like real or fake, and you can vote on the next loose gemstone that I post, just for giggles. And if this made you think even just a little bit, or if it changed your perception of jewelry at all, please comment below and let me know. I would love to hear from you. If this is something that you like and you want to continue having more fun, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can get notifications every time I post a new video, so you can have all of the jewelry fun right here. Until next time, I'm Jewelry Nerd, and I will see you next time.